How do we thrive in that? Because we're fun, we're relatable. I feel like we're very approachable.
And it makes you a more grounded and self-aware person.
I don't think the goal is being perfect. I think it's being like the best version of you.
Welcome back to I Can Fit That In, the show where ambition meets alignment. I'm your host, Erin Coupe. Today's guests are sisters. Fuqua and DeLong are the founders of the Tidy Home Nashville, a professional organizing company that they launched back in 2019. Through the ups, downs, and pivots of entrepreneurship, including navigating the pandemic and building a thriving business as moms and wives, they have learned what it truly means to create space for what matters most. In their new book, they share how loving your home can be a powerful way to love yourself better. And Meg bring heart, humor, and so much wisdom to the art of creating environments that support who you are and who you're becoming. Meg and welcome to my show.
Hi.
Thank you.
You are
I really love
welcome.
that introduction. I'm like, that
Yes.
was so
That was great.
I know people love to steal my intro, so go ahead and listen to it and have your transcriber just pull it.
Yeah, we will.
There you go. Well, I love, a lot of the work that I talk about, obviously, in my show, in my book, and a lot of the teachings that I put out in the world is about creating space for what matters most. And I find that it's very fitting for the book that you've written, the business you've built. And so why don't we just start there? I'd love to hear a little bit about what you want people to understand about who you are as individuals, as sisters, and then also as, the women who've built this thriving business.
Yeah, I mean, for us, me and we just were so excited to have the opportunity to have a business together, because we actually really enjoy being together. We're best friends. And
We're
so
those
we just
kind
wanted
of sisters.
I was going to say that is rare. That's not always the norm. You guys are
for
lucky.
sure. I know people were always like, do you really like each other? We're like, yeah, we do. We really
actually do.
So, for us, that was the most important thing was for us to be able to do something together. And, we had very little kids at the time we started our business. So we were like, okay, what can we do that's together and we can be with our families, And so for us, that was
I feel like flexibility was huge for us. We wanted flexibility.
Yes.
And autonomy,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And so we were just like, what can we do that brings that? But we also were like, okay, we love helping people. We love being organized. We love having that in our lives. And so we're like, how do we bring that to others? And yeah, just having that flexibility in our life. So for us, that's always at the heart of who we are is me and are at the end of the day, we want to work together. We want to be with our families and we love being able to have creativity in our lives. And, we get that in multiple ways in our business, whether it's designing a new pantry or whether we're coming up with content online for our followers, being able to use our skills to help others, I feel is really at the heart of who we are. And because that's what I feel this year, it's been more fun because we're fun sisters. And we have a team. We have two other women that work with us. And, I feel our clients really enjoy being with us. And I feel that's rare. I'm sure, you have people come into your home to help you, but people want to hang out and talk to us, and as much as sometimes you want that space, you're also wow, that's really special that people like us enough to hang around us, and so we've been trying to focus on that a little bit and be okay, how do we thrive in that? Because we're fun, we're relatable. I feel we're very, what's sort I'm looking for? I feel approachable, and so I feel with our book coming out, this is a perfect moment for it.
Mm-hmm. It's so important that you said that. That's something that I've found in my business as well is that, my clients all become friends of mine. Right.
Yeah.
And that is a true testament to the impact that you bring and the work that
Yes.
you do. Right. And I think everyone wants that, but they don't really know what that's like until they're in a business where that actually transpires, in the years that I was in corporate, it wasn't always like that, but I always wanted it to be. And so when you create
Yeah.
your own business where it's truly an extension of who you are, and in this case, an
Yeah.
extension of the two of you, that is possible. Those types of relationships that have depth and have meaning are,
Yeah.
Yes.
way more possible when it's something that is just a true extension of who you are. So I love that you mentioned that. What would you
Yes.
say is there, like, I would love to know, was there a moment where there was maybe like a wake up call or some sort of like a quiet push within both of you or one of you that kind of said, hey, we need to rethink how we're living or how we're working or how we're defining success for ourselves. And what I'm getting to is what led you to launching this business outside of you wanted some flexibility in your life and to be able to work with kids.
Meg, do you want me to take this one since it's
Yeah.
my
I was like, you could take it.
in 2016, I actually had a heart attack when I was 33.
Oh my goodness.
So I had a spontaneous coronary artery dissection. It's a mouthful. So it's just kind of something that happens out of the blue. I was really young. I had a 1.5-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I actually was already working from home. Um, but which was great. Like that's when you first have kids, that's like all you want. You want to be able to have this, well, not everyone, but it's what I wanted. Like I wanted to be able to have this job where I could help provide for my family. And I knew I would be bored, like if I didn't do anything and be home with your kids and be able to do all those things. But it's also like super hard to do that. Like you don't know until you're doing it. So I think for me, I think it just like shifted everything to me wanting to do that, but wanting to do something I really loved and do it with my sister. So I think it's just like these stepping stones of like, you get a little piece of it. Like you're able to make your own schedule. You're able to get your kids up from their nap. You're able to like do your dishes in the middle of the day if you want to. But then it's like, and that's all great. And then you realize like, oh, but I still want to do something I really love to do. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is like what motivated us. So, like, yeah, my heart attack was in 2016. I had open heart surgery, so I was down for a long time, and so it feels like it was a long time, but it was just 3 years later that we decided to start our business.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, I mean, your catalyst was very physical, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
sometimes, I always say that change happens by design or by disaster, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
we don't always
disaster for
get to
sure.
choose how, yeah. And we don't get to choose that a lot of
Yeah.
times,
No,
but what's important is to understand what those signs are. And in your case, that very physical sign and having to go through surgery and heal from that and then to do something about it or something with it, right? So like
Yeah.
yes,
I talk to people a lot about when that catalyst is there, regardless of how painful it is, because even if you choose to design change, there's pain in that. There always is, right? It's like that no
Yeah.
pain, no gain scenario. But it
Yeah.
sounds to me like you were obviously very purposeful in being able to still live a life in the way that you wanted to live it and also bring joy, bring meaning to other people's lives too. So that's,
yeah. I mean,
remarkable.
I think it was like one of the biggest things, which Meg has already said, but us being able to be together a lot. I mean, like I feel like that was a very important thing. And I think like we both knew that if we did that and we were both really being ourselves, which is like, we're both Virgos, we both like control, we like organization. And it's like if we could do that together, I think we just both felt like we could help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Would you say there are certain rhythms or rituals that really help you stay centered, both in running a business together and also in just managing kind of your busy daily lives?
We lay in bed
Oh
together a
Lord.
lot. No.
Yeah,
Do you guys
when you
live
were
like a
talking,
block away from each other or
I
next door?
wish.
I
I'm always
wish
trying to get her to
to.
move close to me. I'm like, please move down the road. This would make this so much
We are
easier.
not
We're
far.
only,
Let me preface by saying
no.
we're like 20 minutes apart.
Yeah, we really are. So we're lucky in that regard. But I feel like for us, like it sounds maybe silly and simple, but we're both pretty big on rest. I mean, being able, and I think that's a big thing for women because it's hard. You feel like you have so much to do. You have so much going on that to-do list feels endless. But I can always feel it in my body when I'm just like, okay, I need to lay down. Like whether I'm just like laying there, not sleeping, or if I am taking a nap, I just feel like it resets my brain. So, because I mean, I feel like my brain hurts a lot, especially with our job. It's very mental, trying to figure out things in someone's home. And so sometimes my brain just hurts and I'm like, I need to lay down and like reset. And so for me, it's like, I feel like I used to feel embarrassed by like, okay, I need to take a nap. And then it's like, okay, what adult takes a nap? But I'm like, I need that. Like, and he is the same way. We're like, okay, let's just like get in bed. And like, if we're together, we'll just get in our beds and work or whatever. But just being able to let yourself rest, because I feel like when you have your own business, it's like hustle culture is such a real thing, And so reminding yourself, okay, I don't have to do that all the time,
Right.
Well,
Even
and
that is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, like, I feel like us coming into our business with me having health problems, it's like, it's a weird silver lining, but I feel like it allowed us to build in rest, like taking time to
Yeah.
like not just like go, 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 because I literally couldn't do that. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Yeah.
like it like gave us a quote unquote like excuse to still value like giving us like downtime also.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. No, I get that. And I think, a lot of times we have been sort of taught or it's been ingrained in us that rest is lazy. And
Yeah.
many times that's just not true. It's rest is actually strategy. Stillness is strategy, right? Because
Yeah.
that's a part of refueling yourself and making sure that
Yes.
you have what you need in the tank to keep going, right? And I love that you
Oh,
guys do this
absolutely.
together where you're like, let's just create some content while we're in bed taking a
Our
rest.
I
husbands are
know.
always like, what are you doing?
We're
That
like,
is
we're
amazing.
working.
I thought I was the only person that did that. I'm like, I'm just gonna
No.
lay in my bed while I work on my computer for an
I
hour.
mean, it's the best. I'm
I
like,
mean,
it's
you
our
might as well
happy
be
spot.
comfortable if you're going to do it.
I know.
Totally.
I know. I mean, yeah, it's just so hard when you're like, okay, I'm just so tired and how do I still work and get some like chill time? So it's like, okay, bring the laptop in there and our dogs love to be with us too. So it's
That's
all
sweet.
very cozy.
Oh, I love that. So sweet. I can totally picture it right now.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about how you define success. So what,
Hmm.
as business owners, as moms, as wives, what would you say is your definition of success today? And how has that evolved over the last several years of running your business?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I think,
I think,
I think
oh
like
yeah, go ahead.
us starting out, I think the ability to do what we wanted to do a few days a week, go into somebody's house, help them, and then still have time to be at home with our kids and not miss those important things. I feel like that's where we started. And I don't feel like that has changed. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like that's really what for us defines success. It wasn't like, we're going to make boatloads of money. And it was just like, we want to be comfortable. Like, obviously, we don't want to suffer, but we want to be comfortable. And if we can do all of those things still and not feel like overly stretched, I feel like that's what we considered success.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And I
makes a lot
do
of
think,
sense.
like, over the years, because we've been in business for like 6.5 years, and and it does pivot. Like I said, it's like at the essence of who we are. It's always to be together, to have time with our families. But it's so funny because, especially lately, we're so busy right now with like coming out with our book and doing everything for that, and I feel like, I giggle because we used to work in houses 5 days a week. And so, I mean, like all day and like we don't do that anymore. We only work 2 days a week in houses. And the rest of the time is for us to come up with like content and things that help people like online. And so it's funny to see how like, oh, at first, for the first probably, 3, 4, maybe even close to 5 years, we're just like, okay, we're booking out. We have 5 days a week booked and we booked out the rest of the year. And that was so exciting. And now it's like, okay, like that success of, okay, we could have that still, but we are going to honor ourselves and taking the time for us to create content. And that stuff makes us so happy. Like we love designing things, and like that level of success has changed where you're like, okay, we need to take a step back from being in homes. And that can be scary, kind of what you were talking about. Sometimes when you're designing these things for your change in your business, it can be scary to be like, okay, we're going to, we started 5 days in homes and then we went down to 3. And then this year we're like, we need to go down to 2, and so taking those steps is like kind of freaky, but I feel like when you're honoring what you need, I feel like you're always like, it always comes back around. I just feel like that. It's like, you're always taken care of in some way. It's like, we're just like, okay, we are so busy doing online things and partnerships and things like that to give even more people content that they can follow, and so it's funny how that has changed over the years.
Right. Yeah, I love that what you just touched upon is what I call energy stewardship, right? So you realized that in running your business for a few years, that the way that you had been running it was no longer working for you, right? It was no longer serving each of you. So it doesn't mean that you go cold turkey and just stop doing something, but you just shift that, right? You shift the energy that you bring to it, and you shift the way that you offer it. And that has to happen. Businesses have to iterate. They have to recreate and do things differently, but also take what's been done and make it more suitable to the times, in this case for yourselves. So I love that you brought that up, because what I would like to now talk about is what drains your energy. And this is kind of funny because one of the things that really drains my energy is clutter. I can't not take it in my home. And I have 10 and 11-year-old boys, so this is tough, but I cannot take it when they just leave stuff everywhere. And it's, they expect that, someone's going to come along and just put it away. And I've really been trying to teach them that, what your mind sees is what is actually in your mind. So when you have clutter everywhere, your mind is going to be full of that. And I think that's also very fitting for your topic. So talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
That is like exactly what our book is about. Like, even if people don't realize the effect that it has on them, it's having an effect on everyone. Like it doesn't matter if you're like at your core a super tidy person, or if you're not, if you're on the other side of that spectrum, it's still affecting everybody the same way, like, and I was going to say that drains my it drains my soul, my energy, like clutter. Like, I mean, my house is insane right now because we have a lot happening right now, and my house is insane. And I was literally walking around before this, like, okay, as soon as I get off this, I have to fix all of this.
I know. Yeah. And I'm the same way. I'm like, we get this from our parents. They're both very tidy people, very geared towards like, okay, like we're having a presentable house. And that's like the best gift I feel like they could give us, but also a curse at times, because you're just like, my house is insane. And I'm sure people that would walk in would be like, your house is not insane. But, you feel it in your core of like, like for me, I have these little piles right now, and I was just talking to my husband about it, and I was like, I get so mad at our clients when they have little piles, and then I have little piles right now, but it's just because we're in like a switch of seasons, like we have our last job of the year on Thursday, and so now it's like we're really switching hard to book content, and so it's like that big switch, so I'm like, I have like a Halloween pile going. But then I'm like, I feel like there's so much to do that I'm like, I need to go rest. I need to rest my brain before I tackle this. So, I mean, that's truly why we started, the other reason why we started our business is because we realized the stuff around your house has such an impact on you. And we're like, it's everyone. It's just might not know it yet, And so for us, it's like, it's very much at the core of who we are is like, oh, there's these little things. I need to fix it. I need to get it back in order. And what you said, like you have 2 sons, like we have kids. And I was just saying last night, like I'm trying to be a little bit more chill in my home. I don't know if it's working, but I don't want to get grumpy at people for them just existing in our home, because we have 4 kids between me and my husband, and I'm like, that's a lot of stuff. Like they just bring so much to the table. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be rude to you, but come on, like
Get your
you
act
gotta
together.
get it together because I'm like, I can't do this for everyone. I know I'm a
Yes.
professional, but like,
Right.
I
Right.
don't feel like I should have to do it for them because they're getting older. So that
Yeah.
really drains my energy. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go sit in my room for a little bit and pretend
I
like this doesn't exist.
I have to do the same thing. It's like when my energy is drained around my house, I have to make sure that I give myself that space from everybody and everything
Yes,
to really fill myself back up. And it's like reading in the
absolutely.
bathtub is like my go-to. I'm
Oh,
like that is like
yeah.
that's my sanctuary, right?
See, I
But
love that.
yeah. It's really funny that we're talking about this though. Yesterday my husband and I went through all the drawers and closets for our two boys and
Yeah.
we changed everything for the seasons and got rid of stuff that's, sizes that aren't going to fit in the next season, all that. And everything looks so good. And I'm just like, oh,
Hmm.
this like makes me feel really good. And I am like, I
Hmm.
guarantee you by next weekend, that is all messed up. Like
Oh,
completely messed
no.
up. So it's also a little bit of like I have to like have grace, like you're saying, to not be
I
that person and just
know.
have grace for like this is not their
Yeah.
strength yet. It doesn't mean it won't be a strength of theirs,
Yeah.
but at least for them to see that, things when they're organized feel good. That's what I try to
Yes.
ingrain in my
Oh
kids.
my
And,
gosh. Yes.
whether or not
But
that's
yeah,
working, I don't know yet, but
for sure, that feeling, and that's what we want to give to like our clients. And I think that's like a hard thing for me is because I'm like, don't you feel good? Like, keep this going, like, keep it up. But we know people aren't perfect, especially kids. But that's what we always tell our clients. It's like, we're giving you this system. So the system's there, even if it gets crazy, because it will. You can always get it back, because you have these things laid out for you. But I feel like I have a hard time with that little whatever that is where I'm like, okay, it makes you feel so good. Just like keep going.
Well,
But
because you keep it up.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like, I keep it up so I know it continues feeling good, but it's
yeah,
it's not realistic for everybody. Like, I mean, I
yeah.
think it's just about like the season of life that you're in. Like, I think you have to like know that too, and we
Mhm.
try to know
Yeah.
that for our clients as well. Like,
Mhm.
this person has
Yes.
two little kids. Like, it's, like, it's just not your season to have things perfect.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, for
When we
sure. You're
had
like, it's
when
gonna
our
be
kids were real
crazy.
little, we had like everything had a place. But what
Yeah.
that meant was just that there was a bunch of bins that could go inside storage cabinets.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
Like,
you
it
could
was
just
a
throw
Hey, and
place you
that's
could
everything in the
tuck
great.
bins
it.
and then hide it.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think
And
that's
I love
perfect.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the stuff was not organized, but it was just away after they went to bed.
Absolutely. And you're like,
Yes.
I don't have to look at it anymore. It's like, you're like, it's for me. And that's something else I was going to say is like, we try to shift as much as like, I mean, we're not like psychologists or anything like that, but we're like, we try to shift this moment in people's heads of like, okay, you need to do this for you. And that's like what our book is about too, is like, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it just for your guests that are coming over. You're not doing it because your mother-in-law is like mad at you because your house is gross. So like you need to do it for you because you will feel how good it feels. And it's like such a way of self-care to like take care of your home. And I feel like
Mhm.
it's easy. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've been hired because people are moving and they're like, I got to get my house looking good because people are going to come look at it. But I'm like, it kind of makes me sad because I'm like, I wish they would have done it for themselves.
Right.
I wish
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they would have taken that time in the finance, like their money to like do that for themselves before it got to this level.
Right, right. Well, and you've mentioned your book a few times, so I want you to talk a little bit more about that for my listeners. So your book
Yeah.
is called Tidying Up and it releases on December 9th. So
Yeah.
Yes.
talk about, obviously we know a little bit about what the book has to offer, but why did you write this book and how is it going to help people really take those actions in their lives to do this for themselves, to stay organized for themselves?
I think we really wanted a book that broke it down like very simply for people. Like, we love all the organizing books where it's like you see all these
Mhm.
beautiful pictures. Like, we love those. But I still think that's kind of intimidating for just the average person, like seeing these perfect spaces. And I think our goal was to always kind of break it down by space and give very straight line tips for each space and including like the items we suggest to bring in to help you do it per space. Just because
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people really leave that out too. Like that's one of the hardest parts about organizing is knowing what product to bring in because you could waste a lot of time and money trying to figure that aspect out.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like too, just in our book, like I said in the beginning, like I would like to think that we're relatable and approachable, and we're like, hey, we're moms, we have partners, like we are trying to figure it out just as much as anyone else, and these are the things that have helped us. And it's not biting off more than you can chew. I mean, I was just talking to these ladies the other day. We had an event at the Container Store, and we were talking to them. And they were about to start a project, and I was like, don't pull everything out. I mean, if you were a professional organizer, you can do that within a few hours. But when it's your own home and you have kids, you cannot empty out all your cabinets at once because then you're going to have to shove it back in when it's time to make dinner, So we're like, really genuinely like take it a cabinet at a time or, a couple if you can handle it. So it really breaks it down by like, think about just what Ia said earlier, like the season of life that you're in. How many times are you eating at home? How many meals are you preparing? Like all of these questions should impact kind of like how you look at your house and how you go about getting organized, because it's not going to be the same as everyone else. And I think that's like a big part of just our businesses in general is looking at your lifestyle and how that needs to come into play when you're setting up your home is like, okay, if you travel a lot, what does that look like? If you're home a lot, what does that look like? And I feel like our book does a really good job at kind of meeting people where they are.
I love that. And it reminds me of even things like when it comes to a digital nature. One of the things that I do in my own life, and I work with a lot of people when it comes to managing their energy in this way,
Mhm.
what are those things that drains your energy, right? Because for me, for example, accounting and like paying bills and that kind of stuff, that is the stuff that I will gladly let sit there until I have to get to it. But I also
Yeah.
know that when I do get to it, I'm drained by it, but I also feel so good that it's over with, right? So I will
Yes.
schedule that into my calendar, and it might be
Mm.
on a Friday when I've purposely not booked a lot of meetings, and I'll do it in the morning. And then I'll have like a workout class, or I'll go for a long walk, or I'll do
Yeah.
something that I'm like really excited about afterwards so that
Yes.
I don't feel that major dip in energy all the rest of the day. But I
Yes.
think that that's a really great thing for people that are listening to really take away from this is the intentionality behind
Yeah.
being organized, whether that's in your home, like you guys are talking about and teaching in your book and like you're doing with your clients, or that's within your own self, as you talked about with your own
Yeah.
lives and the way that you choose to live your lives. Because organization, being tidy, being intentional, being, centered, that is all very much tied together.
Yeah.
And it makes you a more grounded and self-aware person when you are
Hmm.
that. Not about, this isn't about being perfect like you guys have touched upon, but it is about making sure that you're discerning, hey, where's my energy being drained because of all of
Yeah.
this? And where can I actually help myself and
Yeah.
make myself feel better? So what I'd
Mm.
love to ask you last is, first of all, can you just tell listeners how your book and how what you do with clients really helps them love themselves more?
I
Mm.
think like
Yeah.
something
That's
that you just
great.
said made me think like I feel like if all of that goes hand in hand, I don't think the goal is being perfect. I think it's
Hmm.
being like the best version of you, like, and I think that is like kind of like how we said that doesn't look the same for every person. And I think that's exactly right. Like, it's doing everything that sets you up to be the best you. So
Hmm.
I just think like you have to understand what that means for yourself. And and
Yeah.
I hope that's what our book gets across is like, just, if we suggest something and that doesn't work for your lifestyle, like think about this tweak, like maybe that would work better for you because your home isn't set up the same as other people's.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think this is something that's been on my heart so much recently over like probably the last like 3 months is that I feel like in organization and like, yeah, some people can keep it up and it be perfect, but there's such a look of like, okay, it has to be perfect, this perfectionism. And, I used to, okay, when it was just me and my son, like, for example, like I could do that. Now that we have a big family, that the look of that, knowing within me, okay, I can't expect things to be perfect because I'm going to go crazy. So I wouldn't even say good enough because that's kind of sounds lame, but like what Ia said, what suits me now? Like what allows me to be the best version of myself? If I'm expecting perfection, I'm going to be mad at everyone all the time. And that's not good. Like I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that stepmom. I don't want to be that mom. I don't want to be that partner. So for me, I feel like I relate so much to our followers and our readers because I've gone through such big life changes and I'm like, oh, I have to like honor myself by listening to that voice within me of like, okay, I can't be perfect. So what's the next best thing? What is me trying my best and how do I honor myself with that? And so I feel like in our book, that is like such a big part of what we want to give to people is just doing your best, like, and being proud of that and taking care of yourself and not being ashamed to do that. I wanted to just say this when you talked about scheduling it in, I've never thought about that, but I'm like, that's kind of amazing. Like, that's such a good tip to give to even like our clients and followers of like, hey, take 20 minutes. Like, we do talk about that a lot is like, hey, at the end of the day, take 15, 20 minutes to like tidy up and you'll feel so much better. But even thinking about those moments of like, hey, I need to go through this closet, adding it to your calendar, like what an act of self-care to do that, but I feel like some people they don't want to add it because they're like, I'm scared,
But I
but
think
I
too, like
really like that.
highlighting like a time, like you have 20 minutes, like do your best with 20 minutes. We don't expect you to have this Pinterest looking closet after 20 minutes, but maybe you have grabbed 4 shirts you no longer wear and they're not in your closet anymore, and like maybe you've picked up a few things off the floor and that's a whole lot better than where it started.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Or just even that junk drawer, it's like if you get to like a
Yeah.
third of it, that's great. A
Yeah, if
third
you,
of it
yeah,
is now more
trash some
clear.
things.
Absolutely.
Totally.
See?
Well, tell everyone where is best to find you, and we'll include all of your links as well. But just share with everybody right now where they can find you and then where they can find your book.
Yeah.
No,
So you
no,
can
we're
find
like,
us. I was like, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We are the Tidy Home Nashville, and we have Pinterest. We actually we have a YouTube started, so you can follow us there. It's the same thing, the Tidy Home Nashville, and you can
TikTok.
buy our book. Oh yeah, TikTok. Forget about TikTok. But you can buy our book really anywhere. It's pre-ordered right now. So you can go to Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, or bookshop.org. And you can also get it pre-ordered on Audible.
Hmm.
So we're really excited because people can either get a physical copy or do Kindle, or they can also do the audio version. And I think is that all the places? I'm pretty sure
I think
I
so. Yeah,
tackled
I
all
think you
that.
covered it. You covered it.
But yeah, people can pre-order it now. And then, yes, it comes out on December 9th. And then they can order it right then and there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ia and Meg, for being here. This was a really
Yes.
fun conversation with two women who are like-minded and it sounds like like-hearted. So thank you
Yes.
again for being my guest. Thank you, everyone, for being here. As always, your energy, your time, your presence is truly, truly something that I'm so grateful for. So you know what to do. Please like, share, subscribe, and let's get this out to more and more listeners. Until next time.